Hello, everyone, and welcome to season 2 of Beyond the Healing, the podcast, where we go beyond just sharing testimonies and we go into what life is really like during the healing and beyond the healing. I am your host, Dorcas P. And listen, I am so excited about this season. Season 1 was amazing, but when you step into that second season of a thing, of a new thing, the excitement really revs up. And I'm so excited for the guests we're going to have on this season, for my audience, and having the ability to learn from, to be empowered and encouraged to just heal. Yes. Because the reality is, we want you to just heal. We want you to embrace the journey of just healing. But so many people don't know what it's like going through the healing process, or even what life is like beyond the healing. And that's what this platform is all about. That's why we are here, because we're taking you into our lives, into our journey of healing and what life is like beyond the healing. So I'm excited about taking you on this journey, because we're going through this journey together. Life is life. You're going to always go through seasons of healing, and when you learn to just embrace the joy of healing, because healing means that you are being condition, that you are being equipped with what you need to go to that next level, then you learn to embrace the joy of that healing. You don't allow all of the fear, the anxiety, the unknowns to stop you. And that is what Beyond the Healing is all about. It is your space for you to get to know what it's about. Yes, everybody's healing journey is different, but when you take pieces from everybody's journey, you're able to kind of get steps, get tools, get strategies that you need on your own healing journey. And then you begin to see that, hey, there's nothing to be afraid of. Hey, there's no reason for me to be anxious about healing. Hey, I really am excited about healing, because I know what's on the other side. I know what's gonna happen beyond the healing. Is it gonna always be peaches and cream? No, but the person that you become beyond the healing, yeah, she or he is the person who God has equipped to carry out the assignment, who God is going to use for the kingdom, so that you can fully activate your kingdom purpose. And so I'm so excited about Beyond the Healing and my own journey of Beyond the Healing. There are some things that I had to do, and like I said, I want you, this platform is here for you to get a picture, to get a bird's eye view, in a sense, of what life is like during the healing and beyond the healing. And one of the things that I know for me along my journey of healing, I had to unlearn a lot of things. For those of you who haven't seen Becoming Dorcas, the docu-series, for those of you who didn't get a chance to watch season 1 or listen to season 1 of Beyond the Healing, my journey of healing has taken place over the past, I want to say, 6 years or so. And I had to go through an intensive healing journey of abandonment trauma, of molestation, of rape, of suicidal ideations, anxiety, depression, addiction, all of those things. And for so many years, I was one person. I was the person who thought her life was meant for pain. But healing is not just about learning how to be, it's about unlearning. Healing is not just about learning who you are, it's about unlearning. And that's the thing. Like I started my healing journey in year 33 of my life. Here I am at year 39, and that was 33 years of me learning, me navigating through life as one person, me navigating life as this person who had gotten used to pain. There was a point in my life at the lowest point where I wanted to take my own life. I said, God, if I'm meant to be on this earth just for pain, you can have it. Because so I actually told God, like, God, my name should have been pain, because that is all I saw. That is what I was accustomed to. My identity in itself had become pain. But as I began navigating my healing journey, as I began embracing this new individual, this new creation, I had to unlearn the former me. And so many people don't realize that. They try to step into the new thing. They try to step into new relationships, new businesses, a new season of their life, still operating as the former selves. Scripture says, the old is gone, the new is here. And so I had to unlearn how I was navigating as the former me, as the me who identified as pain. And that's what I want you to understand. Like, this episode, this premiere of season 2, I want you to really understand that when you begin to embrace your journey of healing, you are going to have to unlearn the former you. And that unlearning process is in a sense a grieving process, because you have been navigating, you have been operating, you have been existing as that one being, as the person that you have been accustomed to. And so I want you to settle here for a second, and I want you to understand and that life is not about survival. You've mastered survival. I mastered survival because I didn't know how to live. I didn't know what living was. All I knew was survival. And oftentimes, in 99.9% of the time, we're taught survival. We're taught as women, especially as Black women, that you have to get it how you get it. You have to depend on self. You have to be independent. Hey, there's a song about being an independent woman, that we wore being an independent woman as a badge of honor, but that in so many cases, that is only survival. And so for the individual who was saying, you know what, I've mastered survival. I'm tired of surviving. And now I'm ready to really dive into life. I'm really ready to live. I want you to just really settle here, settle in this moment, settle and listen, because if unlearning was a person, it was me. So many other people have gone through healing journeys and they've had to unlearn some things. Can I tell you, like your girl, I had to really unlearn, and so much so I had to break up with the former me, because she became an expert at being broken. I became an expert at masking the pain, people pleasing, avoiding vulnerability, wearing this mask. Like, to be honest with you, I didn't even know who she was, because the reality of the situation, I would show up as who I needed to be in that moment. And some people say, okay, that's a good thing. No, it's not a good thing, because that means you're not being unapologetically you. That means you're not being authentic. It's not that the friends I had I wasn't an authentic friend. It was just that I was wearing a mask because I didn't want anybody to see me as I saw myself. And she was pain. She was broken. She was unhealed. She was everything that she had gone through. And so that is how I was surviving through life. Okay, how do I need to show up in this moment so that people won't see my brokenness, so that people won't see who I really am? And I had mastered it. I had literally mastered it. I mastered wearing a mask because of who I saw in the mirror. Who I saw in the mirror. And I had to unlearn that person. I had to really take off the mask and shed her. Like, I had to put her in a sense to death, because the space, the capacity, the mental, the dimension that I operate in today, she couldn't have operated in. Like, she couldn't have operated in. And I really had to mourn her. And I spent so many years. I told you, God, my healing started in year 33. As far back as I can remember, experienced trauma. My mom left when I was 2. At 2, I couldn't comprehend what that was. But you're talking about my early childhood, early elementary years, my middle school, adolescent years, my teen years in high school, my young adult years in college, my all throughout my 20s. And so I was navigating as this woman, as this being. I was surviving as this being that I was never meant to be. And that itself was a culture shock. And not a culture shock, a reality shock. Like this is not who I am. Now keep in mind, at this point I'm married. At this point I have kids. At this point I have friend relationships and all these things. And it's like, I have been existing as a being that I'm not. Like that moment right there is so profound, because, and it's heartbreaking at the same time, because so many people exist in that same space. You're existing in a space as in an identity. You're operating as a being that you were never meant to be. And you like, how? Well, you're operating as broken. You're operating in pain. You're operating unhealed. You're operating in your insecurities. You're operating in your pride, in your shame, in your fear. You're operating in the pain of everything that you've experienced. You're operating in the unforgiveness. All of those characteristics, all of those identities, they're not you. And they weren't me. But I didn't know that, because I was so blinded, and I've grown accustomed to, because that's all I knew. I knew survival. I knew how to just get through. I knew how to just keep moving. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Because if you stop, the world is going to fall apart. If you stop, your existence is going to fall apart. If you stop, you are going to fall apart. And so I just knew, that woman just knew how to hold it together. She just knew, she was the epitome of just hold it together. And that's not who I am. That's not who God created us to be. That's not who I was meant to be. And so I had to unlearn me, the former me, the me who didn't know her own identity, the me who was surviving and not living. As I think back over my life, there were moments where in those times survival was necessary, but it's not sustainable for a life of wholeness. It's not sustainable, because when you're constantly in survival mode, you're not able to embrace the life. You're not able to enjoy life. You're not able to settle in that space of life more abundantly. Survival is all about protection. It's all about preservation. It's all about taking care of me. It's about your walls. It's about your guards. It's about your defense mechanisms. It's about, how am I going to make it? But when you unlearn survival and you begin to embrace living, you realize that I don't have to constantly be in protection mode. I don't have to always be in that fight or flight mentality stance. I can be free and allow God to be God. I don't have to always have my guard up. I don't have to always think that people are out to get me. I don't have to always keep looking over my shoulder. that living is true freedom. And that is the space, that is the identity, that is the capacity that God wants us to operate in. Like, that is, it is such a sweet space to go from surviving to living. And all it required of me was to embrace who I truly am, who I'm truly meant to be. Like, that is the great part. That is the great part. That is the great part. That allowing myself to heal and rest, and not to just keep pushing through the pain, pushing through the anxiety, pushing through the depression, pushing through the brokenness, pushing through the pain of it all. Like, that's really living. And I'm so thankful that God put the wind in my back and, in a sense, forced me to heal, because he knew the space that he needed me to operate in, and I couldn't operate in that space under the assumed identity that I had, because it wasn't my true identity. It was an assumed identity. It was a false identity. It was an identity that was developed from a capacity, from a space of brokenness, a space of immaturity, a space of not being naive, not knowing, a space of learned behavior, a space of not knowing how to cope, not knowing how to express my emotions or make sense of a thing, a space of not truly knowing the meaning of love. And I believe that in order for me to be accepted, in order for me to be welcome, in order for me to be loved, I had to be strong. I had to be independent. I had to please people. I had to be whatever I thought that I needed to be, so that people can see me as valuable. And my true identity is valuable. I don't need to prove to people that I'm valuable. I don't need to put on a horse and pony show, or try to overcompensate, or try to buy friendships or whatever, or overdo a thing just to show that I'm valuable. The former me thought that, because she didn't know how valuable she was. She already was. It was an assumed identity. It was a false identity. It was a mask. And so once I realized, girl, you are beyond valuable, to the point where God wanted to save you so much that he sent his only begotten son to die for you. Like, do you realize how valuable that is? Because let's be honest, how many people, humans, will send their only son to die to save someone else? That part. Like, that part. Pain taught me how to be deadly with my words. Pain taught me how to just protect me. But in the same sense, pain taught me how not to protect me. How not to protect me from me. Because I was reckless with me. I treated myself recklessly. I self-sabotaged. I I did not like me. And so because I didn't like being broken, because I didn't like how sometimes weak-minded I thought I was, because I didn't like that God created me, so I thought, for pain. I didn't like how broken I was. I didn't like anything about her. So I called her stupid. I called her fat. I called her all types of names. And it was because that wasn't her true identity. But I didn't know that. But pain taught me those things. Pain and brokenness taught me those things. But I had to come to a point where I wanted life. I had to come to a point where I was like, life, it has to be more than this. Like, it has to be more than just wanting to be needed. Like, I just wanted somebody to need me. I wanted somebody to want me. I wanted somebody to see my value, but at the same time, I didn't know my value. At the same time, I saw myself as being broken. At the same time, I saw myself as damaged goods. But it was so conflicting, and I see now why it played such it took such a toll on my mental health, the anxiety, the depression, all of those things. It took a toll on me because it was mentally exhausting being in that space of I don't this not knowing who you are. It's like you have so many personalities, in a sense, so many identities of that are not yours. But it's because of everything you've gone through. And because you have spent your life trying to people please this group of people, that group of people, this group of people, trying to be, in a sense, perfect, or so that your significant other or whoever don't see you for real. But in a sense, you just want to be needed. You just want somebody to want you, because the trauma, the pain of not being wanted as a child, the abandonment trauma of it all taught you that you were not worthy of being wanted, not worthy of being needed, that you were invaluable. But I had to learn a difference. I had to learn a difference between being needed and being wanted and being loved. Love is unconditional, and God really showed me what love was, and he showed me that I actually had people in my life who wanted to love me just for me, not who I thought they needed me to be, not who I thought I needed to be. But just like I had to unlearn all the things about the former me, just like I had to unlearn what the trauma, the pain, the brokenness, the insecurities, the all of those things taught me. I had to relearn the true me. I had to relearn who God. I want to say relearn. I had to learn, because I never knew her, so I couldn't relearn her. I had to actually learn everything about this woman that I was born to be, the woman that God created me to be. I had to learn who I really am in Christ. I had to learn how to be a daughter. I had to learn that I am so worthy and that no one can invalidate or validate me, because God validated me when he told me to just be. Like, I had to learn that it is okay to be unapologetically me all day, every day. I had to learn that I don't have to cover my pain. In fact, I can show my scars. I can heal and show my scars because my scars represent a journey of healing. My scars represent the fact that God chose me to navigate this life and go through some things like He chose Job, and that I'm put here on purpose, for a purpose, with purpose. And my ultimate purpose is kingdom. I had to learn just how powerful my voice is. It's like I had to learn the importance of my peace, and that I have to protect my peace at all costs. I never experienced peace before. I didn't know what true peace was. I had to learn that I can trust with my vulnerability. I can trust with my pain. I can trust with my brokenness. When I say I can trust God with it all. Not man. I can trust God with it and allow God to be God. And when I come and I get to this space of beyond the healing, I can show my scars with honor and with grace. I had to unlearn how to love me. Love me. And people say, oh, I love myself. I love myself. Oh, I love me. But the reality is, so many people don't love themselves. Because when you truly love you, you will heal. When you truly love you, you will understand that God didn't create you to survive, that God didn't create you to just exist in this world, that God created you with purpose to live and live more abundantly. Wow. Fully activating your kingdom purpose. Like, God meant for you to live heaven on earth. Like, when you truly love you, you don't allow yourself to believe the lies anymore. That you only stand on the truth. When you truly love you, you show up unapologetically you. And whoever doesn't like it, so what? So what? And so I have been learning in this space of beyond the healing. I have been learning me. And this chick is a woman of grace. This chick is a woman who knows what it means to love herself. This chick, she understands that I don't have to wait to get to heaven to live the abundant life, that I can actually live it here on earth. And all it takes is for me to heal and learn who I'm supposed to be in Christ, as a daughter, as a disciple, as a friend, as a coach, as a speaker, as an entrepreneur, as a kingdom builder. That part. Yeah. So as much as I've had to unlearn in this healing journey, and even navigating life beyond the healing, because there's still some things that God is showing me that I have to unlearn. But the process of learning exactly who I am and being grounded and rooted in that, yeah, that is a great space to be in. And I'm so excited that you are joining me on this journey of beyond this healing, beyond the healing, on this journey of learning and continuing to learn, because there's layers to us, y'all. There's layers to us as individuals, and God doesn't reveal it all at one time. He takes us, just like he takes us from glory to glory to glory, from dimension to dimension. He peels back the layers and show us parts of us that we've never experienced before. And those parts of us, we have to learn as we unlearn the former self. We have to learn and get to know and to embrace and to love on exactly who God created us to be. So as we prepare to navigate beyond the healing in season 2, we're going to go beyond survival. We're going to go beyond the pain. We're going to go beyond the insecurities, the brokenness, into the abundant life that God has for us. So get comfortable, get settled here, and get ready to navigate life beyond the healing. And remember to give yourself grace, because you won't always get it right. The grace that God gives us when we don't get it right. Strap in, get ready for episode 2 of season 2 coming up next week as we navigate life beyond the hill. Peace.